Hi everyone, Eric Nelson here once again, and thank you for tuning into my YouTube channel. For today, I am back with another book review on Tamara Ferguson's Two Hearts Surrendered. Now, in this novel, she actually provides us with another familiar romance formula by reminding us on the difficulties of how returning combat vets have it difficult at finding not just romance but also at trying to live a normal life. But in this novel, Tamara Ferguson also reminds us that they also have the love and support of not just from their family and friends, but also from people who recognize that they are military veterans by either seeing their military ID or just in their uniform. But also it reminds us that even though they do have the love and support from people, she also reminds us that sometimes they don't want to have love, and so they do not want to have love and support because of what they went through when they were at a war. And unless you are a veteran, you probably wouldn't really understand. And I myself am not, but having a lot of friends who are, I actually do kind of understand. But even though I am not, I do know that it is no walk in the park to serve in the Army, and that's why my heart goes out to anyone who has served. Because if you have the desire to serve in the Army and to give up your lives for the sake of America, you are a true hero. So in this novel, we follow the life of Luke Bryant, who begins in the novel as a young kid who is unfortunately suffering an abusive life. But things begin to change a little when he saves the life of Kelly Callahan from drowning. Now, even as a young kid, she feels that Luke is the one for her since that he saved her life. But because Luke has a lot of insecurities due to his abuse at home, he doesn't feel like he's the one for her. Now, years later, Luke joins the Air Force in hopes of bettering himself both physically and mentally. Now, when he comes home temporarily to attend Kelly's sister's wedding, who is actually Kate from That Unforgettable Kiss, a book that I reviewed previously. Now, a little side note, I would suggest reading that book before you read this book. Now this book isn't a sequel to That Unforgettable Kiss, but if you want to be more familiar with Kate's wedding, I would suggest that you read That Unforgettable Kiss. And I would also recommend it too, because it is a really great book as well. So when he attends that wedding as a new man, and when he reunites with Kelly, he finally feels secure enough to believe that she is the one for him. And once he reveals his true feelings to her, they both feel happy and excited for the future. But when he has to go back to active duty, he suffers from severe injuries, but not to the point where it's life-threatening. So when he comes home permanently as a wounded warrior, his insecurities return, and then he once again feels like he's not up to par with Kelly. And despite him refusing to see her again, as well as shutting him off shutting himself off completely from society, Kelly still feels that he is the one for her and tries to reach out to him. Now, the question is, what will she say or do to get him back? Well, this is where I stop so that you, the reader, can read. And let me just say this. I really like this common character trait in most of Tamara Ferguson's books, where it's the woman who has to seek out the man rather than the traditional idea of the man trying to seek out the woman. I think that's a real refreshing character trait. Now, in this book, we once again see, as I said before, a common romance formula where we see the difficulties of people in the military trying to find love, but I really like how Tamara Ferguson adds new material, and my favorite one is where she provides Luke with an abusive past, because this shows that Luke does have a lot of strength to get by more obstacles rather than just the military. And true, he does have many weak moments, but you really relate to them because you know exactly what he is going through, because she provides a lot more material, which of course explains his motives for either shutting himself out from society or doesn't feel like he's up to par with Kelly. So this book is definitely a must read, and I hope to see you all at the bookstore or the iBookstore.